Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 25th of July. Okay, as we dig into the holidays, the volatility is expected to fall. However, looking at Friday's move, and well, we held in pretty well there with decent range on Friday. So, what next? Well, we have got the weekly pivot above us on the euro dollar here. We're back into the support, and just being informed of a Gartley pattern that may work itself out from this sort of region as well. So there's a possibility of the bounce from the Gartley. Plus, as I say, we've got the weekly above us, so could be looking for some upside potential. However, if we do start failing, well, I think we'll be looking for the lows of the 24th of June and maybe even further back down towards the monthly S1 at some point. It's not looking its strongest, but it's one of these markets that sort of over the last few days has consolidated where it's sorry, a few days, 4 hours, it's consolidated a little bit, and there's a little bit of divergence possibly off that 0-100 hour candle. So if we're from here, well, if we can break these 21s, yes, I'd be looking at the daily pivot and the weekly pivot as possible targets. If we do start breaking down, I was looking on a 5-minute chart. Well, there is a low on this 7 o'clock candle at the moment, but if it breaks that before 8 o'clock, I'll have to redraw it. But if we end up with a low here, I'd be drawing a trend line across the bottoms there and looking to see if we do break down. Now, of course, we've got the probability hitting the daily pivot, which I'd like, but it's a bit out of trend. Really depends how, as I say, runs first thing this morning. It's a bit out of trend, the pivot, so the S1 may be a possible. Looking at the pounds, then it's just meant to take all the lines off. I've been trying to take some of I've got lines drawn on there from days and weeks back. Right, looking at the pound, weakish. We're a very weak day on Friday, but we saw that right the way across the markets there. We've seen a bit of a rebound at the moment. We have got the weekly pivot marginally above price at the moment, so it's within a easy reach. And so often we see these pivots hit earlier in the month. My bullish on the weekly still sits there, but on the dailies at the moment, if I was looking aside of that, with Friday's candle, doesn't look particularly good, and if we do see a break of Friday's lows, I think I'd be going to the downside there. However, it's a holiday season, and funny old things happen with currencies. Looking at the shorter time frame here, looking a bit bearish. As I say, we've got the daily pivot and the weekly pivot within a few pips of each other, just above us there. So any reversal in the shorter time frames, I would be looking for potential move towards those levels. But otherwise, if it breaks what is becoming a bit of a trend here, maybe. I mean, I think it's a bit too early to pop this on really, because it's already had a little nibble with this previous or this 7 o'clock candle. But if it does break down properly through this trend, I may have to look for the intraday short side. So it's still got a slight bias to the upside there from the oversold signal. Dollar yen, let's have a look at this. And well, it's found some support rather each time it's come back to its 8 MA. It could look to push up towards the highs of Thursday there and continue in that mode, but at the moment it's holding solid. It's probably looking better from an hourly perspective, from an early potential for that move. If I was just looking at this chart though, I'd really be just drawing across the bottom here, thinking, well, there's the potential of a breakdown here. So it's a bit of a mixed bag looking from where I'm seeing it there. With the potential intervention by the Bank of Japan in terms of further softening of the rates, etc., there is the potential for this, and the potential to me remains better to the upside than the low side in general. However, whenever we see the risk factors change, we see money coming back into the yen, and it's done that certainly in this 4-hour session. But if it can reverse and change again, which it may be doing from this sort of level, it's just called the daily pivot. It may be looking, or air kiss the daily pivot, may look for a continuation to the upside. Okay, Aussie dollar. Again, another market looking for its potential weekly pivot, not far above here with the 34, may give us a reversal the way the Aussie dollar's been going if we get to those sort of levels. Bias really is to the downside from the lower highs, lower lows. Would like to see the weekly pivot taken out, so any reversal push up to there, I'll be watching that quite carefully. If I was looking, it may give us a potential short side again. Could be patient and wait for it to do that, and if there's a trend line that runs across the lows here, just let it do that first, and then if it starts breaking the trend, which will be way out there probably by the time it does it at this rate, join the shorts then, or just if it breaks beforehand, well, I'd be more keener to take it now. Okay, Canadian dollar. Okay, so Canadian dollar's been shoving up again. Again, the weaker oil price. Apparently, there's more drilling going on again in the US, so there's a bit more of a glut of oil. Hasn't helped the situation with the price of oil. I'll just flick the oil price on. It really does look like in a bit of a bearish situation there. But the bigger picture is not quite so bad. It's having a bit of a shallower retrace than it first looks when you just look at a very small part of a chart. There's potential it starts riding down a bit further for it to get down towards the S2 pivots. Let's just have a quick fib on there just to see. We are in driving season in the US, and generally oil prices tend to rise through that, but obviously they haven't so far since June when it starts. That well-known driving season, because all the cars were so thirsty on petrol. Or gasoline. Right, okay, it's no, not really. I was just looking to see if it had any support there. Not a lot. Again, though, oil's got the pivots above, which may help it push up there. In which case, well, you could find Canadian dollar finding a bit of support here. It ran up on Friday, resistance. We found some resistance running into the prior highs on Friday. Well, it's whether all this can help. Again, weekly pivot below. So if we see in the short term some sort of break of these lows, maybe the daily pivot, I could be interested in looking for a move back down if oil's shoving up. Okay, that's pretty much it from me. News-wise today, there isn't a stack. Just looking through the news here, we've got trade balance already in, that's done. German business climate figures at 9 o'clock, barely ever move the market. And that's it. So very little news today, so it could be a bit of a quiet one. We'll see in terms of, there's obviously a lot of political stuff going on around the world, and that may just create the volatility. Have a great one. Bye for now.